Karma Yoga does not depend upon what the activity is. Don't try to decide Karma Yoga based on the nature of the activity itself. Karma Yoga does not depend upon the nature of the activity itself. Nor does Karma Yoga depend upon the amount of activity. After teaching, after giving the message of Karma Yoga to Arjuna, he did not do service, he did not do charity, he did not even sit and meditate. He waged war, fighting a battle. You tell me, what is fighting? Fighting is a tamasic, rajasic or sattvic. If you classify activities, guna-wise, what will fighting come under? It will come under rajasic. If you say for Karma Yoga you have to do sattvic activities, then Arjuna did not do Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga does not depend upon the nature of the activity, it depends upon how you do it. What the essence of Bhagavad Gita is, it doesn't matter what activity you perform, all activities can be performed in a sattvic manner. How you do it is in your hands. What is needed is not in your hands. Battery is needed, it is not in your hands. You have to argue with somebody, debate with somebody, it is not in your hands. You have to correct somebody, it is not in your hands. That is needed now. But how you will do it is in your hands. That can be done in a sattvic way. That was what Krishna was pointing to Arjuna. He was telling, battle is needed now, you perform the battle, but you need not do it tamasically or you need not do it rajasically. You can still do it sattvically. Fighting can be done sattvically. It will look absurd. But there is modern example also for that. If somebody says, you fight in tranquility, it looks like it's a philosophy, it looks like an impossibility. But all of you know what Chinese martial arts taught the whole world. What is the specialty of Chinese martial arts? Do you see these people, Kung Fu warriors or any other form of Chinese martial arts? Do you see those warriors fighting with worry? You see them fighting in calmness. The main essence of Kung Fu and other forms of martial arts is that you have to fight in calmness. If you have not seen Chinese martial arts, you would have at least seen Kung Fu Panda. What is the message of Kung Fu Panda? Inner peace and then fight. Yes? See, in Bollywood movies or any other Indian movies, when a fight happens, there will be a lot of sweat, lot of blood, lot of yelling, lot of screaming, lot of shouting, and you enjoy that. That is Rajasic fight. The fight is being done Rajasically. Yes, you like that, it is entertaining. But you like to see Jackie Chan's fight more than that. Is there any sweat there? Is there any blood there? Is there any screaming there? No. He is fighting as if some comedy is happening. But he is fighting very skillfully. Fighting also can be done in sattvic way. Fighting also can be done in calmness. That is what Chinese martial arts taught the entire world. It is possible. And another catch there is, if you fight in calmness, your fighting will be more efficient. That is what they showed the entire world. If you fight in agitation, if you fight in anger, your efficiency will come down. If you fight in calmness, you will be more agile, your fighting will be more efficient. So, what is done, the nature of the activity does not decide whether it is Karma Yoga or not. How you do it decides what is Karma Yoga. You have to remember this one thing. When you come to the field of Adhyatma, you have to remember one thing. What does Adhyatma mean? What is the literal meaning of the word Adhyatma? Something related to myself. Yes? Adhyatma. Atma means self. It is something related to me. Adhyatma is something related to me. It is a subjective science. It is not an objective science. Although we use the concept of gunas to classify everything, even activities can be classified based on gunas. You can say fighting is rajasic, You can say butchering is tamasic, you can say lecturing is sattvic, you can classify the activity based on guna, I agree. But when you come to Adhyatma, it is a subjective science. How you do the activity is more important than what the activity is. What is done is not in your hands. What is needed may not be in your hands. It is not always in your hands. That is what was conveyed in Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata war in a very big way. People who fought there did not fight. I mean, that was what Krishna's teaching was. He was telling Arjuna, don't fight in hatred. Araga dveshatara. Don't. Fighting may be needed now, yes. You may need to kill them, yes, but don't do it in hatred. That was the message of the Gita. You do what is needed, but don't do it with agitation. Don't do it with hatred and anger. So Karma Yoga means that Karma Yoga is completely to do with our attitude behind the activity, not what we do. See, otherwise, if that was not so, for example, the work of a housemaid, it is categorized as a tamasic activity. Paricharyatmakam karma. Paricharyatmakam karma is tamasic activity. The activity is tamasic. But do you dare call her tamasic? Do you mean to say all housemaids are tamasic? No. They may be still doing it in an extremely sattvic way. The activity may be categorized based on guna wise, fine, that is an external classification, but that does not mean that the person itself is tamasic. The watchman standing there at the gate, don't call him tamasic. The work may be tamasic. There it is used in a different context when you classify the activity guna wise. But don't confuse the external activity with the internal attitude. So a person may be engaged in fighting a battle, but he may be still sattvic within. That was the message of the Gita. It is not to go on changing the external activity. If you go on changing the external activity, if you say the whole world has to do sattvic activity, the world will collapse. It won't sustain itself. If everybody has to do sattvic activity, if everybody has to become a lecturer, everybody has to become a manager, administrator, who will do the paricharyatmakam karma? Who will do the soldiering work? The world will not run. So there, external classification of guna-wise activity is a different thing. It has nothing to do with the classification of the inner attitude. So let us remember that. That is the primary message of Karma Yoga.